Hi, my name is Kevin Ashley from the University of Edinburgh, Digital Curation Centre, often known as the DCC. I think the thing we're proudest of in the past year is some work we've done with others as consultancy for the European Research Council, helping them understand what steps they can take to ensure that data is preserved and made available for reuse by others. Funders can set policies to try and make these things happen, but they don't have control over the infrastructure that's necessary to allow it to happen. Just because you tell a researcher they have to do something doesn't mean the researcher is able to do that thing if it's dependent on something existing outside the organisation that they work in. We think through the research we've done, talking to lots of those directly involved from organisations and researchers themselves and funders, that we've helped the European Research Council move much closer to an understanding of what they can do with the policy instruments available to them to ensure this must happen. It's not a guarantee, but we think it's an important step in the right direction. One of the challenges that I think we're going to be facing in the coming year is not a new one, and it's not even specific to digital content. It's how to ensure the capture and preservation of material that's currently in active use. This has been a problem for many years for anybody dealing with current records of organisations, so national archives and in corporate archives. And I've dealt with it in the past in that context, and we're going to be facing it in the near future in the very specific context of health research and its exploitation of records that are created in the course of clinical practice. We're going to be working with others to try and get a better understanding Europe-wide and then worldwide on mechanisms to do this, to face both the technical, ethical and simple administrative and organisational challenges that are going to be faced in ensuring that that happens. And in highlighting work from the coming year, we're in a way related to that last point. We're going to be working both in the context of a project called Fairs Fair and through one member of our staff through the governance of the European Open Science Cloud to try and understand how to take these very general principles and what you need to do to preserve data and make it available for discovery and reuse in a way that's reliable and captures things like provenance, and translate those into more specific requirements that are applicable to particular research disciplines and to the ways in which people work. The ways in which you accomplish these things when you're dealing with a very large project with many actors over many years, it's going to be quite different when you're trying to, as opposed to providing advice to the lone researcher who's often working with much less infrastructure support and yet who still wants to achieve the same aims of making their material available, discovered, preserved and reused in a proper custodial context.